बहुत ही तजर्बेकार और आपको बहुत ही अच्छी और ऑनेस्ट सर्विसेज देने वाले मॉर्टगेज ब्रोकर श्री रंजीत धालीवाल जी आज हमारे साथ हैं, जिनसे मेरी बातचीत हो रही है। आपने कोई भी मॉर्टगेज लेनी हो या आपने रीफाइनेंसिंग करवानी हो, इनसे मिलें, आपका हज़ारों डॉलर का फ़ायदा करवा के देते हैं। बहुत ही अच्छी सर्विसेज आपको मिलेगी, बढ़िया रेट्स भी मिलेंगे और पूरी तरह से आपकी देख रेख भी की जाएगी। रंजीत धालीवाल जी से आप मिल सकते हैं। इनका टेलीफोन नंबर है, कॉल करें, अपॉइंटमेंट बनाएं और मिलें। इनका नंबर है 4169927265, 4169927265। और इनको अगर आपने ईमेल करना हो तो ईमेल का एड्रेस है info@clarityfinancial.ca। रंजीत जी, आप बता रहे थे कमर्शियल ब्रेक से पहले,
we were talking about the changes that the government might introduce. So some of the changes that they could possibly they might be looking at, there's mainly three areas basically that they can make changes in. Credit, what the credit score requirement could increase, the down payment amounts could increase, and the income requirements could increase. And they're also looking at making more difficult to speculate into the marketplace, changes to the rental property programs. So when you take a look at that, and one of the ways they could restrict some of this stuff is making the rules. They made the rules a little bit lenient for those people that had good credit in terms of how much income do you need to qualify for a mortgage. They might restrict that a little bit. They might also decrease the amortization, which they've already done. They've taken from 40 year down to 35 and then down to 30 years last year. And they could take it down further to maybe a 25-year amortization, in which case the monthly payments become higher. Then you need a higher income to qualify for those mortgages. They could, again, as I said, take a look at making it harder to get investment properties, and just to slow down basically the market. They don't want to kill the market.
Tighten a little bit.
They want to tighten it so that they want to slow down, because especially if they're feeling that they can't do much about the interest rates. If the interest rates are going to stay so low, they don't want people to be speculating into the real estate market.
All right. अगला मेरा सवाल है कि अगर गवर्नमेंट ने चेंजेस की मॉर्टगेज रूल्स में, तो उन लोगों पर कैसा इफेक्ट होगा, कैसा असर होगा जिन लोगों ने प्रॉपर्टीज खरीद रखी हैं?
That's a good question. Generally speaking, whenever the government has made changes in the past, they generally grandfather the individuals that have bought the properties prior to the rule changes. So as long as the purchase agreement was signed, they will honor it under the old rules. So my advice in that particular case is, if you're thinking about buying and you're concerned about some of these rule changes, if they may come, again, we're speculating about it. We don't know if they're actually going to happen. And but if the rates remain so low, I believe the market is going to continue to go up. And if the prices keep on climbing, then the government will come up with something. If you're concerned about something like that, go ahead and sign the purchase agreement. Then you'll be grandfathered into it. Make sure you get a mortgage approval. Go to a mortgage broker. He'll be able to assess your entire situation. And in many cases, we can also come up with alternative ways to approve you as well through some other programs, even if it is a little bit tighter. But I believe, even there's always opportunities for individuals to get mortgages, even when the main players start to retreat back. There's some of these other private lenders that come into the marketplace, and they'll still be able to get you a mortgage, but it's just the cost might be a little bit higher.
जी, ये जो चेंजेस हैं, अगर गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से हुई, अभी श्योर नहीं है होंगी या नहीं होंगी, अगर हुई तो इनका हाउसिंग मार्केट के ऊपर क्या असर होगा?
Again, it's going to slow down the housing market. I mean, we've seen that in the past, a lot of people were using their house basically as a piggy bank. Anytime they needed extra money, they would go refinance, and they would take out the money and then do it again and again. And last year, they made it very, very tight. By reducing the amount of money or amount of equity that you can tap into of your home to 85%. It used to be that you can go up to 95% and then 90% and then now 85%. And they could, that type of stuff does have, it does slow down the industry.
Yeah.
It does slow down those individuals that continue to keep on increasing their debt loads. And I believe if they decrease the amortization, the payments are going to go higher. It will slow down the price increases in the marketplace.
Okay. आपका एक बहुत ही पॉपुलर सेगमेंट है धालीवाल मनूवर्स।
Yes,
एक बार मैं चाहूंगा कि आप धालीवाल मनूवर्स की पूरी जानकारी आज दे दें, ताकि उससे हमारे लिसनर्स पूरा फायदा ले पाए।
You know what? That's I'm glad you brought that up, and because it is a very timely topic right now. Because the Dhaliwal maneuver is a strategy where you can get the taxman to make your down payment essentially, or if you're going to be a first-time buyer, basically get extra. Even if you don't need the down payment, you'll at least be able to qualify for extra tax rebates from the government. And the program is geared, again, as I said, first-time buyers. And what we are using is we're using the RSP Home Buyers Program. Since the RSP deadline this year, by the way, is February 29th. It's a leap year this year. It is not March 1st. So you got to make sure that you get your contribution done before February 29th. And what we do is, let's assume that somebody's got no down payment at all, and they want to get into the marketplace. Right now, you can't get zero down mortgages. You can't qualify at the best rates and so on for these zero down mortgages. So the way to do it is, as long as you've got RSP contribution room available and you make good income, either as a couple or as one individual in a family, you can borrow. If you've got a room of up to $50,000, we can give you a loan, provided your income can sustain the payment. We can give you a loan of up to $50,000. You can contribute that into your own personal RSP, $25,000. Let's assume that you don't have any RSPs right now. You can put it 25 into yours, 25 into your spouse's. Then you leave that money into the RSPs for 90 days. And in the meantime, you sign a purchase agreement or you get into a contract to buy a house. And then we can take this money out. We can take this entire $50,000 out and we can put it in your bank account. And also, as a result of this, you would qualify for a tax rebate, and which you will get probably right away. In this case, maybe within a month. You get a tax rebate of up to $23,000, depending on your tax bracket. I'm assuming the highest tax bracket. And that $23,000 is basically you can use that $50,000 that we put into your account to pay back that loan, that entire loan. And then you can use the $23,000 for a down payment on, let's say, a $400,000 house.
Right.
And you've got enough money for down payment. You got enough money for closing costs, because you also qualify for land transfer tax rebate as a first-time buyer as well. And that's basically how we use the Dhaliwal maneuver in order to get the taxman to make your down payment. Now, there's an advanced version of that as well, sir. The advanced version is where an individual's got other debts which are costing them 19%, 29%, and so on. They generally go to a bank and they don't get qualified because their debt servicing ratio is high. Their income is not enough to cover all the payments, including the mortgage and so on. So we can qualify for them the loan because the loan will have a lower payment than the mortgage. And if we can qualify for them for the loan, we put the $50,000 we cash out after 90 days into their bank account, plus the tax rebate of up to $23,000. That's $73,000 they've got now. And that $73,000 now, rather than paying that RSP loan, which is amortized over 10 years at an interest rate of about 7%, right? It's got a very low payment on that compared to all the other credit cards and so on that you've got. So what we do then is we take that $73,000, maybe we use $40,000, $50,000 of it to pay down the higher interest cost debts, like credit cards and especially store cards that cost like 29% and so on. And now those payments are eliminated. Now you only have a mortgage payment and you've got an RSP loan payment, right, which is amortized over 10 years. And then you've got the tax rebate portion, whether it's $23,000 or if you leave a little bit more in there, you've got that to use towards your down payment. And I call that program from debt to home ownership in 100 days because it takes about 100 days to implement that whole thing. And it's very timely right now, but there's not enough time left, unfortunately. If you're interested in this, I'd be more than happy to send you a free report, but I think it might be too late to get the report, study it and all that. I think you should just pick up the phone, leave a message. I promise you, I will call each and every one of you personally myself to discuss your situation. And we can see if you can take advantage of this right now if you're a first-time buyer thinking of getting into a home. Even if you do have the down payment, why not qualify for that tax rebate? Because if you don't use it, it's gone. It's not like it's going to be there forever. Yeah. Once you become a first-time buyer, then you no longer have access to that.
All right. रंजीत जी, आखिर में अपना आज का जो स्पेशल है हमारे लिसनर्स के लिए वो बताएं और अपना टेलीफोन नंबर भी दें और अपने मॉर्गेज रेट्स भी दें.
Yes, sir. So the regular mortgage rates right now are about 3.19%, 3.19, 3.29. Some lenders are at 3.49. We see RBC at 4.04. These are lowest rates that are available for 5-year fixed.
आपके क्या रेट्स हैं?
Now, our rate is 3.19 for 5-year fixed generally, but as a special today, we're doing 2.99 for a 5-year fixed. Now, this could change at any time without notice, but if you contact me, we'll try to get you this. As long as you're putting less than 20% down, you're purchasing a home which is closing in the next 60 days. We can hold that rate for you. 2.99%, 5-year fixed. It's got the full prepayment privilege and all that.
All right. और यही आज का स्पेशल है.
Yes, sir.
अपना टेलीफोन नंबर दे.
It's 416-992-7265. Again, 992-7265. You can also text me at that number. You can also send me an email, info@clarityfinancial.ca. And if you still want that report, I'll be more than happy to send you the free report on the Dhaliwal maneuver.
आपने शुरू में इटालियन ब्रदर्स एंड सिस्टर्स की बात की थी.
Yes.
आते हैं आपके पास मॉर्गेज?
Lots of them listen to our show, sir.
Really?
They're really, because sometimes accidentally they leave the radio on, and then we get into our discussions, and then they become loyal fans, and some of them have been listening to us from the very beginning 10 years ago.
जी. Wow.
Which is we appreciate you guys a lot, and I'm more than happy to work on your mortgages. You know, the Italian
You must
community.
be feeling very proud and very happy to serve them.
Oh, absolutely. Especially because the Italian community, our community's got very similar characteristics and profiles, right? In terms of
Yes.
our family values and so on.
Yeah.
So it's an absolute pleasure when we come and sit down across from each other and talk about that.
Wonderful, hard-working people.
Very hardworking.
रंजीत जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. थैंक यू वेरी मच आज आने के लिए और अपना कीमती समय देने के लिए. आई नो हाउ बिजी यू आर, बट आई रियली अप्रिशिएट यू गिविंग अस फुल डिटेल्स. व्हेनेवर वी कॉल यू, यू आर हियर ऑन द रेडियो. अब आप आईऑन एशिया में भी शुरू हो रहे हैं. आपकी सेगमेंट्स आईऑन एशिया में भी आएंगी. ये और भी खुशी की बात है.
No, thank you, sir. And the thing is, from my last times at Ion Asia, people actually miss it. Unfortunately, because of timing issue, we haven't been able to do it. However, Mr. Sohota said that you got to come back, and a lot of demand from our viewers out there. So I'm going to be very happy to start those segments starting, I think, maybe this weekend.
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर.
Thank you.
रंजीत धालीवाल जी का टेलीफोन नंबर आप नोट कर लें भाइयों बहनों. इनका नंबर है 416-992-7265. 416-992-7265. आपने मॉर्गेज लेनी हो या ना लेनी हो, रीफाइनेंसिंग करवानी हो या ना करवानी हो, एक बार रंजीत धालीवाल जी के साथ अब जब मिलेंगे खुशी महसूस करेंगे और आप कहेंगे कि आज किसी अच्छे इंसान से बातचीत हुई है. बहुत ही अच्छे आदमी हैं. ज़रूर इनसे फ़ायदा ले और आपने कोई भी इनसे मिलना हो, बातचीत करनी हो, मॉर्गेज की नहीं, वैसे आपने कोई आइडियाज़ लेने हो, कॉल करें इन्हें 416-992-7265 पर.